welcome back to Following Passion Week. We are now on Wednesday, and I hope that you've been enjoying our time together. Wednesday is a little bit different. Wednesday is quiet. It is almost eerily quiet during the Passion Week. We don't see a whole lot of things going on, even though we know there are things happening and taking place, but it's just eerily quiet. It's almost like the calm before the storm. And so I just want to highlight a few things right now. As I told you yesterday, the Sanhedrin, the religious leaders, I say Sanhedrin, but that's the religious leaders of the day. They are angry with Jesus. And I told you that yesterday they plotted at night behind closed doors of what to do with Jesus. They wanted to come up with a plan, and they want to get rid of Jesus once and for all. And something that I did not tell you yesterday that I do want to remind you of is that when Jesus was being challenged by the religious leaders of the day, Jesus issues out woes to them. I've told you he was calling out their hypocrisy. He was calling out how much fruit they did not bear. He begins to pronounce woes against them. And I just want you to listen to some of the woes that Jesus speaks against the religious leaders of the day. He says, "Woe to you, for you shut the kingdom of God off to other people, and you think that you are the only ones that have it." He says, "Woe to you that you'll travel miles and miles and miles to proselytize a single person." And listen to what he says. He says that you make them twice as much a child of hell than what you think you're doing. Listen, these woes are incredible. He says, "Woe to you, you blind guides. You're focusing on the wrong things." He gives them an example. He says, "You'll strain out a gnat to swallow a camel." These woes are interesting. He says, "Woe to you, you will tithe mint and all these different deals and all these things that you're supposed to tithe, but your life is far from me because you don't worry about justice and mercy, and you don't worry about faithfulness." And so he's saying this. Listen to this. He says, "Woe to you, you clean the outside of the cup, and you don't ever pay attention to what's inside the cup." Then he says, "Woe to you, your whitewashed tombs. You're empty, dead on the inside, but you look good to the outside." And then he says, "Woe to you because you think yourself way more righteous than what you are." And instead, they're not righteous at all because they've been standing in their own righteousness. And you and I both know that that's no place to stand because we don't have any righteousness of our own. And so, remembering all that, they are plotting to kill Jesus on this Wednesday. They have come up with a plan to kill him, to be done with him once and for all. But here's the thing is they know that they can't do it in front of everybody. So they have to wait for the perfect time. And the perfect time that they're going to wait for is right after the Passover meal celebration. When people are full, when people maybe were having too much partying going on during the Passover celebration, they weren't aware of what's going on. Or maybe people are leaving Jerusalem after the Passover meal celebration to get an early start before the crowd started to leave. All this is going on, and they say, "This is the time when we're going to arrest Jesus," when nobody's paying attention, because they're scared of the people, remember? This is what happens on Wednesday. And then don't forget also what happens on Wednesday. Jesus is in Bethany, and Jesus is anointed. When he's at Simon the leper's house having dinner, a woman comes up to him with this expensive flask of ointment and pours this expensive ointment on Jesus' head and anoints him. And we see in the Gospels where the disciples murmur, saying, "Why would you let her pour such an expensive flask of ointment on you?" And we see one particular disciple who was really enraged about this, and his name is Judas Iscariot. And Jesus says, I'm only going to be with you for a little bit longer. What she did is important, and she will be remembered for all of eternity, what she did to prepare me for what is to come. And what he said is true because we're still talking about her. And this is when Judas Iscariot decides that he is going to betray Jesus. And so Judas leaves. And then he meets with the Sanhedrin and plots how he is going to be involved in delivering Jesus over to them. Wednesday is dark. And there's going to be another dark day coming. But in the midst of the darkness, the light shines. I hope you're having a good Wednesday, and I will look forward to seeing you tomorrow.